the desert of the real.
Welcome to the Desert of the Real. I'm your host, Jason Dietz, and joined with me is your other host in a box,
Ryan Hudson.
The Desert of the Real is a movie podcast where I encourage and force Ryan to watch movies that he hasn't watched yet that I think that he really should have. We are here to ask if, in this case, the movie Buried with Ryan Reynolds has anything deep to say. We're two English language arts high school teachers. That's a lot of adjectives. English language arts high school teachers.
That's where it gets tricky. English language arts. But that's the official title.
We're two English language arts high school teachers with graduate degrees. And we attempt to use our academic training to dig deeply into movies. We explore the creativity, philosophy, film studies, and ethics in our films, and push you, our listeners, to think critically about your entertainment.
Because this is a parasocial thing.
This is.
You're listening to this, but you're like hanging out with us.
Kind of.
And if you're people I know in real life...
Oh, that's true.
Then we also, we see each other in real life, but...
Yeah. So that makes this weird because in person, real life, asynchronous, synchronous, all of that. Anyhow, thank you for listening. We're very excited to be here. And let's embark on Buried. Now.
Get some bark on Buried?
Yeah, let's embark.
Oh, I was like, what are you talking about?
On Buried.
Let's get some bark on Buried, yo. Let's get some bark on that.
It's new lingo.
I mean,
6, 7,
that's how
baby.
lingo starts.
Yeah.
I think. Before we even get too deep in the movie, I was curious about you and Ryan Reynolds. You said last week this is one of two performances that you like. I got his filmography in front of me, but what was his other choice?
I guess I should pull that. Oh, I don't have my phone.
Well, what's his other good one in your opinion?
Well, good. Okay, so Ryan Reynolds, until I watched this movie, was kind of in the same boat as all my other, like Tom Cruise, Keanu Reeves, Samuel L. Jackson. They don't act, they just be them. They show up as themselves, and people happen to like themselves.
That's, okay, it's a double-edged sword because you're right, I think, and everyone knows. It's not like...
Right.
But I think people have turned on Ryan Reynolds recently.
Because of Mint?
No. Blah, 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 blah. Deadpool 3 still made $1 billion,
Jeez. I still haven't seen any of those.
And our fans are clamoring for your opinion on the newest MCU movies.
For months. Yeah. So by my understanding of the word act, that's not acting. So when I say they don't act, it's not necessarily a slam. I just don't consider them actors. The same thing. Okay, so here's a converse example of someone that overcame that. So Will Smith, when he first started acting in his early movies, was only ever Will Smith.
Yeah, and Fresh Prince.
Right, the Fresh Prince. Like, you think Independence Day, he's just Will Smith in a suit punching aliens. Or Men in Black, same thing. He's just Will Smith in a black suit shooting aliens, whatever.
Okay, whoa.
Like, he's only ever Will Smith. But then something happened in him.
He slapped Chris Rock.
No, it was before that. So the time when I noticed it was The Pursuit of Happiness, which is a absolutely magnificent film where he doesn't play a Will Smithy character at all.
Yeah.
And then after that, I think 7 Pounds was after that, where he's again not remotely like the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Yeah. And so he was he's probably outside of the United States the most popular actor of all time.
I mean, he, like, to this day goes on rap tours to, like, Dubai and stuff.
Right. And so he recognized it or something. I don't know what happened, but became someone that was actually acting rather than simply being himself in a movie.
Because I read his biography. I think it was when he worked on the Muhammad Ali movie. When he was Ali.
Yeah.
That's kind of, I think,
one. He's not Will Smithy at all.
But, like, the other thing before that, though, like, before he finds he was in Bad Boys, and that's, like, directed by Michael Bay.
That's also not terribly Will Smithy.
And Michael Bay tells him, in this chase, if you run, like, with your shirt unbuttoned, you'll become a movie star. And
he did.
And it's kind of what happened.
I've only ever seen, like, the first 10 minutes, which for me was basically a silent movie. So I'm like, I'm not going to watch a silent movie.
It's everything you'd expect if you said, I don't know, Michael Bay movie with cops.
Right.
You know? It's over the top. But it's kind of what happened, though.
Cool.
With Will Smith.
So he became an actor. And so I guess I've used it as a derogatory. Tom Cruise can't act. But I honestly feel like it's just a recognition of a fact.
We could do Mission Impossible. He's a just franchise.
Tom Cruise.
I don't know if that's true, though. Mission Impossible is the weird example where Tom Cruise, like, who even is Ethan? He kind of is a different person for the first few. Anyway. Whatever.
So Ryan Reynolds, same thing. He is, like, I guess the easiest example is Deadpool. He's always the Deadpool-y character. You look at Hitman's Bodyguard.
That's why Deadpool works, though.
Right, I understand it. I'm not taking that away from him. His personality is something that someone wants to watch. But that's not acting. He's not being someone else.
I pulled up his filmography, and it turns out I have not seen a lot of his early stuff. Holy moly, what even are these movies?
The other one that I've seen that I feel like he is acting in is called Voices, which is pretty, like, I don't know, it's pretty messed up, but he very convincingly plays his character, which I hope is not him playing him, because if it's him playing him, he needs to be institutionalized.
Yeah.
And so Ryan Reynolds, what's the Red Notice? He's just being Ryan Reynolds.
Okay, all right. So
Hitman's Bodyguard, he's just being Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, those movies aren't so good.
I really like Hitman's Bodyguard because it makes fun of action movies, which I think mostly suck.
That's true. It is.
Yeah.
And the funniest joke, I don't know if this is a spoiler, but the funniest joke is when Samuel Jackson and Selma Hayek adopt Ryan Reynolds as their son.
Yeah.
It's so funny. So and that's the only thing that's good about that movie.
Oh, I very strongly
it just
disagree
makes me
with
laugh,
that.
Though.
I like almost everything about that movie. But again, I don't feel like it's acting. Like, what's the computer one that he does?
Free Guy?
Free Guy. He's just being Ryan Reynolds.
You're not wrong.
Okay, so we agree.
Yeah. But hold on, let's just back up the clock a little bit. So he's in a TV. I don't
want to go through his whoa.
Let's just wait. Let's just see where Buried came from. That's all I want to do, Dietz. Dr. Dietz, hold your horses. He's in TV shows, including X-Files for one episode and Sabrina the Teenage Witch for one episode. I did not know that. I'm not going to lie. The first movie I even know, he's in Blade Trinity. Guess what? As a fast-talking merc with a mouth. It's basically Deadpool, way before Deadpool.
Okay.
And so he's kind of established that. But then, a few years later, he's in Amityville Horror. Did you know that?
No.
Me neither, because...
He must not be a big...
He's like the dad.
The animal... Oh, really?
It's like a remake of that one.
Oh, I haven't seen the remake.
But then he kind of like... He's in Just Friends, which is pretty fun.
Never seen
where he, in high school, was like a big dude. And he moves back to his hometown, and he's like... young and now he's like fit and he thinks things will be like different, but
is he Ryan Reynolds-y?
Yeah.
Okay.
Smoking Aces.
Never seen it.
Blah 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 blah. Definitely maybe. blah blah blah, the proposal, and then now it's like he's kind of solidified himself as
Ryan
not only
Reynolds.
can I talk fast, but I can also be charming type of thing. 1 year after the proposal is where Buried comes from. So
it kind of comes out of nowhere.
Kinda. So I found a quote from the director.
So
because of
wait,
that.
how did he get picked for Buried with that list of movies?
Excellent question.
Thank you. Knock it out of the park.
The interviewer asked, "The choice of Ryan is interesting because he's very likable, but also quite a physical character, and therefore an unlikely victim, isn't he?" The director says this, "Of course, those things worked, but the main reason I wanted him was because he is so talented. People say it's an interesting decision to cast him, that they didn't expect him to give such an amazing performance, but I didn't invent that. In every film I have seen from him, even the ones that weren't so good, he's so committed with things he's doing. He has amazing timing, he knows how to hold the line for an extra second and deliver it to create a new effect. The story was so dark, it also needed some dark humor to come out from inside the character. I mean that it came out in an organic way from his emotions. He never acts, he always is. He's always truthful and he's so technical at the same time."
Wait, he says he never acts. He always is. I think that is a perfect description of Ryan Reynolds.
But so yeah, I guess that's what the director said.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Ryan knows how to do timing, and also because he's committed to everything. So sure. I mean that.
Like I don't dislike Ryan Reynolds. I like I said, I absolutely love this movie. I really like Voices. I like him as Bodyguard. Like
the other one that I haven't seen that other people point at being good is Mississippi Grind.
I haven't.
It's about like a guy gambling along the Mississippi. That I've seen that one get pointed to of being like a good Ryan performance. Anyway.
So I'd say Ryan Reynolds is a tier up from like Tom Cruise and Keanu Reeves.
Yeah,
like he can act when he wants to, but I mean, if who you are naturally makes you millions of dollars, why bother?
You didn't like Detective Pikachu?
Never seen it.
Well, he's Pikachu. Do you know that?
Oh, cool. No, I didn't.
So, checkmate, Deets.
There you go. You got me.
But no, most of his movies are, yeah. He's...
Right around.
But I guess in this movie, kind of what the director's pointing at, you just need someone to react so big, but be believable. And I think it always is.
Yes.
In Buried.
Yes, and that's one of the reasons why I love Buried. Because... And why I think Ryan Reynolds was cast is because how interesting can an hour and a half in a pine box be?
Yeah.
I mean, you eventually are going to run out of things to do in this pine box, but there's no, like I watched it, I've seen this movie probably 8 times.
I've actually seen this one before too.
Oh, okay. I watched it again specifically watching myself for... When am I losing interest here? Because it's a pine box, a guy with the phone. That's it.
Yeah.
And there's no point.
Yeah. So, okay. I remember I was in high school when this movie came out. And my knowledge and interests are a lot bigger now. I remember thinking in high school, like, I know more about movies than other people. And to some extent that was true. I knew I could name like directors' names and filmography, whatever. But then it wasn't until after high school when I was in college when I discovered video essays and kind of had like the at-home film class type of thing.
Nice.
Like, wow, look at all the stuff I never even knew. Look at all these movies I never even knew. And then I've blossomed and flowered from there. But like that, I remember as a high school student, I'm like, how do they make that into a full-length movie?
Yeah.
I was like, I need to see this and understand how it happened. And the director says there are no shots that are repeated, and I think that it's true.
Imagine it is.
You are never bored watching this movie because somehow they always find a new camera angle or a camera movement to keep you engaged. I wonder if there's some people that are like, oh, you think we need camera movements to keep... Well, maybe,
I think
it helps.
For sure, and this movie is an excellent example of that.
Because he is in a box the whole movie.
There's not a whole lot of where for the camera to move.
I would say, I think the snake part is the one thing that stands out
as not
as
belonging.
good. Yeah.
Oh, as good?
Or like it doesn't belong.
Right.
If anything, it's probably a note from the studio. I don't even know.
We have to have a non-poisonous snake. I noticed that is not a poisonous snake.
Oh, is it?
So
you still probably don't want it in a box.
Poisonous snake, sure. The poisonous snakes have diamond heads, where the poison sacs and the and so that any snake that doesn't have a diamond-shaped head, you don't need to worry about it.
It's also weird because where did it come from?
So that is one of two negatives is that snake scene and kind of how he responded to it didn't.
Because like they make a point of the oxygen,
right?
It's the one thing that doesn't fit in this entire movie is that part.
That's the part I would just take out, make it 5 minutes shorter, and But
I think
so. The oxygen thing. My wife watched this one with me, which she doesn't always do, but occasionally, and she's like, isn't he burning up all of his oxygen with the little lighter thing and the whatever? So I looked it up. So if, dear listener, you ever get caught in a coffin, you have 1 to 6 hours of oxygen, depending on how panicked you get. That box is significantly bigger than a coffin, and so there's probably more than 1 to 6 hours in it. I also looked up how much oxygen does a lighter use up, and it turns out that a lighter uses about 20 liters of oxygen over the course of the time that he would have been in there. A candle flame would have used more, and so the lighter is not an issue. Initially I was like, okay, this is a flaw because he's burning up all of his oxygen. What burns up his oxygen is not the candle, it's him freaking out. That will just blow through oxygen. So if you're ever in a coffin, don't freak out. Or freak out and get it over with. One or the other. So good.
Famously, and a little bit inaccurately, Jason hates Tony Stark and, as extension, Robert Downey Jr.,
because he's a dirtbag.
We have a whole 30 movie franchise about that. But in Iron Man 3, forever ago,
talking about Iron Man.
One of your biggest complaints was that is not how an anxiety attack looks like. That's not what a panic attack looks like. I wanted you to, I guess, compare and contrast.
This is what it looks like.
And like what was done well.
From my personal experience, this is what it looks like. It's the blind unreason, because he knows, if I freak out, I'm using oxygen, it's not going to do any good at all.
Yeah.
But like a panic attack it's not reasoning.
Yeah.
It's just raw terror.
Yeah.
That blocks out all of everything else and just completely takes over your mind, takes over your body, and for a time you're just like, you feel like the entire planet is going to, crush into a little pin and then poof out.
Yeah.
And so I feel like, I don't know if that was probably it wasn't an actual panic attack, but watching him do that on multiple times in this movie, his timing is perfect. Like when the triggers are all believable triggers, because most of this movie he is not panicking.
Yeah.
So it needs a trigger to set it off. All of the triggers are logical, and his reaction, I think, is true to the panic attacks that I used to have all the time.
Because this movie's not a horror, but if someone was claustrophobic,
it's horrific.
Yeah,
it's not a horror movie.
There are apparently people struggle to watch this movie.
Yeah,
because the concept of being stuck in the box is too much.
Yeah, my daughter had a really hard time watching this, and she repented of this. But when you, listener, have watched it, so I'm not spoiling, he doesn't get out, and when he doesn't get out, she's like, that I am never watching another movie that you pick. There's no way he dies in there. That sucks. That's the worst ending I've ever seen. And she stomped out. And For her, it was really hard to watch.
Yeah.
And then the ending just kind of broke it.
The ending is kind of what makes it really good, though.
Yeah. I completely agree.
Yeah.
Because in almost every other movie that's even closely whatever genre this is, they always get saved.
There's an episode of Monk where he's buried in a coffin.
Oh, really?
Similar.
Oh.
And it's kind of funny because Monk freaks out over everything.
Yeah.
And he is, but then he sees his dead wife in his mind and things. He comes to peace. But the end bit in the Monk episode is they find him, they open it up, and he's just smiling peacefully. He's like, Monk, we found you.
I think I remember.
Why
that.
is he smiling?
Yeah.
But yeah, most other a lesser movie would have been saved at the end.
Yeah. And I think you just reminded me of another piece that really sells the panic attack. There's a moment where he has a panic attack and then his mind just kind of shuts down for a second and he's just hearing these phrases just kind of floating. Yeah, that happens. Your mind just kind of short circuits for a while and you're just kind of trying to restart it I don't really know how to describe it, but then it's just these things kind of just floating, and then eventually you get it restarted and you can kind of resume quote unquote normal life. So maybe that's why I love this movie so much. It's the best depiction I've ever seen, I think, of a panic attack, which they kind of suck.
So, okay, before I wanted to some cool facts behind the scenes things about this movie. First, as a viewer, I really love the opening credits, how the words are going up so it feels like we're going down. That's just a little thing that's just cool. It's neat. You probably skipped that,
some people
though.
would not have seen.
This was filmed in 17 days. Which is very fast for a movie. So they did about 30 to 35 shots a day. Most movies are just nowhere near that.
Sure.
So Ryan Reynolds was just... It's him. Apparently the director said something he came out his achy back and his fingers were all burnt and stuff. Because he just for 17 days basically had to be in this coffin. And they had different types of coffins. One with extra long walls. And, okay, so the director was told to cut to people outside, on the phone calls and stuff.
Sure.
The studio wanted that. Mm-hmm. And he very wisely said no.
Yeah,
we can't get... He needed it to feel suffocating, basically.
Yep.
So that's just another thing that...
That's an excellent choice.
The interviewer, says how many... he asked if it was inspired by Hitchcock. And the director says, from the very first moment, it also starts with about 2 minutes of pitch black darkness. Yeah. You hear nothing but breathing, and you start the movie with Paul Conroy. So you live through things the way he lives through, and know what he knows. But he then says, when you see Lifeboat, which happens inside a boat in the middle of the ocean, or when you see Rope or Rear Window with their kind of narrative and technical challenges, he's just comparing these are one location movies.
Have you seen Lifeboat, by the way?
I've not seen Lifeboat. That's one of the few I have not seen.
It's brutal.
But as we all know, these are called chamber pieces. If it was a TV show, it'd be called a bottle episode. But in film,
chamber piece.
They're chamber pieces.
I remember that now that you said it.
Anyway.
Cool.
Okay. So what's funny?
What's funny?
What something that's funny to me is, like I said, I saw this in high school. But my brain is just so different now.
Yeah.
When I watched it originally, I'm I liked it. I'm yeah, Ryan Reynolds acting well in a box. This is intense. And now I'm bureaucracy, the American government, a critique on a war.
Yes.
I'm these are some very clear, obvious messages I never even thought about.
Yeah.
Back in 2010.
Yep. So
and I got a lot
next level now.
Yes, I've leveled up. So, for example, I'm going to quote a film critic named Kevin Courier.
Excellent.
About this movie. Underlying the prudent dread of Buried is the notion that if the U.S. hadn't invaded Iraq, there wouldn't be innocent American bodies anonymously buried in desert graves. Given the aesthetic response to Buried, Cortez, the director, may know how to make audiences gasp in suspense while our hero gasps for air. But doesn't he also realize that by exploiting an audience's worst primitive fear, he's also found a crudely manipulative way of making an anti-war statement? I mean,
I don't read this as anti-war so much as anti-othering or anti-bureaucracy.
Mm-hmm.
So when I say othering, I've brought that up a couple of times in other episodes. The idea that there's me, I know 100% that I'm a person. I have emotions, I have blah, blah, blah. And then we just kind of move out from there, like my family.
Mm-hmm.
I spend a lot of time with them. I know them in different situations. They're people too. So that's my people. These are the people I know are people. And then we kind of keep moving away from that. And the less we know or the less we care to know about a person, really the less person-y they become. So if you think about, I don't know, the last time you went out to eat, the waiter or the waitress who served you, that's also a human being. But how much human interaction did you engage in with that person? If most people are going to say not really anything, like the way that we interact with waiters or waitresses, we could just replace the waiter or waitress with a little push button robot that goes deliver, or even like a cell phone. You just like order up a thing and the computer does it. And so that's othering. So the other people aren't truly people. And so there's some just chilling interactions in this film between Ryan, Paul Conroy, between Paul Conroy and people who are othering him.
Well, okay, but because I wrote down in my notes, he is fighting the complete indifference of common bureaucracy, or at least strangers. So it's like, these people are just doing their job.
Right.
And it's like, yeah, you're in trouble, but like, I also have,
right,
get through this, Right.
So it's the waiter or the waitress thing. In kind of in reverse, I guess, but not, I mean, that's the phenomenon. It's othering. So so the first one is like the operator, like that he gets a hold of. The operator, like, how much worse of a situation could you possibly be in than buried in a box in the middle of a desert?
Yeah.
And the operator of 911 is just kind of treating this like, okay, your cat's up in a tree. Like, no, okay, sorry. It was, I have 911 no, it's the FBI. Sorry, you can cut all that. So the operator, he's like, give me the FBI. And she's like, well, I have a FBI field office in Chicago. I have one. He's like, I don't care. Just give me the FBI. She's like, well, I can't do that, sir. Like, dude's buried in a box. He's going to die. And he's so much not a human being that you're like, okay, my instructions are, you have to tell me which box to check. Doesn't matter what situation you're in. That's othering. And so for me, yes, there's definitely anti-war sentiment. He wouldn't have been in the box if they weren't, if the U.S. hadn't invaded Iraq.
Yeah.
All of that, yes, I get that. But for me, it's much more viscerally, this is what happens in a society where bureaucratic rules are more important to us than other human beings.
It's kind of, okay, we watched in this podcast one of your choices, The Guilty.
Yes.
With Jake Gyllenhaal.
So good.
Because he's
same thing.
It's the same, because he is a 911 operator.
Filling in, yeah.
Oh, well, yeah, okay. Well, technically, he's
a police officer on probation.
But in The Guilty, the character, he could not care less about some of those calls.
Right.
Yep. And, I mean, I guess you could make an argument, he is buried, he's talking to real people.
Yep.
Maybe they had a bad day.
Sure.
Maybe they just, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, in their mind, maybe they think they're helping, But from Ryan Reynolds and our perspective, it's like, I am in a box and I need help.
Yep.
And maybe they're like, what do you want me to do about it? I'm in America, you know? Like,
right, I'm in Wisconsin in an office.
It's to like a degree. I mean, because you're right. This whole thing is very like it's critical of bureaucracy and the way like we just become indifferent to people,
to other people's suffering. Yeah.
But in a way, I'm trying to think of how do I. It's. Is it bad to say relatable in a way?
No, because you can't care about every single human being suffering.
Right.
You really can't.
But
it's not possible.
Yeah, but if we all cared a little bit more, you know?
Right?
I don't know.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And so one of the real reason I wanted to watch this is because it's so opposite to all of the movies that you've picked in terms of scope and scenery and whatever. But the reason I love this movie is that any one of those people that he contacts, so he contacts the operator, he contacts FBI, he contacts his employer, he contacts his, I'm assuming it's his sister-in-law. She doesn't answer the phone call
where it's like, he thinks that she answered and like just kidding, leave a message.
All of the and the field office hostage guy, whatever. Any one of those, like you said, if they had cared a little more, I mean, maybe he wouldn't have died. But I think the fact that he dies and this movie doesn't pull the punch is, from my perspective, the main message is he died because other people didn't care enough. They were doing their job by the book. They were doing what they were supposed to do. They were following the procedures. This is the end result of just blindly following procedures, is this guy dies. So go ahead.
So you triggered a memory in my brain. When I saw the movie Spider-Man 2 back, I don't know, 2005, is it? Maybe 2003. Anyway, Spider-Man 2, one of the best superhero movies, if not the best superhero movie ever made.
I don't know if I've ever seen it.
With Dr. Octopus.
Maybe I watched it once.
This is how it ties in. It's one of the best superhero movies because it's like the only one that has the hero. So like it's hard to be a hero, and he like struggles with his powers.
Oh, okay.
So there's a point where he doesn't have his powers, where he goes into a burning building to help people, and there's this whole sequence where he helps these people just as a normal person, and then he hears one of the firemen go, someone on the 5th floor died, whatever, and he's like, oh, maybe I could have saved them, type of thing. As a little kid, I was like, that sequence really struck me. And I remember on the news there was some hurricane or storm where it said someone died, and I was like in this entire city that got hit in real life, it said like there were 3 deaths in the hurricane, and I was like, oh my gosh, 3 people died.
Yeah.
And my mom, at the time, was like, well, in perspective, 3 people isn't that much,
right?
When in scope of a city. And I was like, oh, it was like taken aback.
Yep.
And it was because of like, I saw Spider-Man fail to save someone, like, oh, but someone did, like, in real life.
Right.
And it's kind of like what you were just talking about. It's like, well, I did everything in my power.
Right.
Someone died, that's just a number.
Yeah.
But to him, it's like...
Right. But what you're talking about is part of the philosophy that I wanted us to deal with. So... which is it? Is it 3 isn't that many in a whole city of people? Or is it 3 people and like is it that? So which is the right way for us to view the rest of the world, the rest of humanity? Because the more I'm going to talk about this in a second and get personal again. But the more 3 people that died that we accept in, there's weight there. There's an expense there. There's an expenditure of who we are, to take those 3 people and to I don't know, suffer with them, or to do things to prevent or to help or to strengthen or whatever. So, like, what are the drawbacks and the benefits? Maybe that.
Okay.
What do you think?
I think this is super interesting. Okay, because on one hand, my initial gut reaction was we should treat any death of any tragedy like human beings with goals and dreams and hopes and wishes died. But I also kind of have the thought, could you ever be happy or content if every single day you had to hear about all the horrible, like the news basically?
Sure.
Like, if you had to be personally sad and affected by everything, could you live a happy life?
Yeah, that's fair.
Because,
that's the one extreme on the continuum is that.
If you think of, I don't know, like the classic stereotype of a hippie, I suppose, where
Sure.
it's like sometimes their passion for something, even if the change would be a good change, maybe you are so like vocal about this one issue that it turns people off type of
Sure.
thing. You know?
Yes, 100%.
I don't know.
So the one extreme is what, like, I care deeply about every single person that I come in contact with. Every single tragedy tears me up. You're right. It's not possible to live that way. The other extreme is like honestly, one of the best examples in film, I think, is the personnel guy from the company when he calls up. And his only goal is to get Ryan Reynolds to say, yes, I had an affair or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, I recognize that that's against the policy. Yes, it is okay or it's understandable or whatever that the company fired me this morning before this incident. That guy is the other extreme.
Yeah.
Paul Conroy, to him, is not a human being at all.
Mm-hmm.
He's just a thing that it's his job to prevent the company from having expenditures. He's not a person at all.
Yeah.
So those are our two extremes. Where we fall in there, there's obvious. Since it's a philosophical question, there's not a right answer.
Yeah.
But I do feel that when we live in a world that is increasingly bureaucratic, that's the cost of becoming increasingly bureaucratic, is everyone becomes less and less of a human being. Mm-hmm. So another way to say that, you go through your day, how many interactions do you have where you are a human being versus how many interactions do you have where you are just a piece of a machinery that's working? So hopefully for us, the answer is I'm a human being all day long.
Yeah. Like as high school teachers,
sure,
dealing with a lot of human beings all day.
Yes. So I feel like a human being all day long because I'm the guy in front. People pay attention, whatever. But what about our kids, like our students?
Yeah.
How many of them feel like a human being all day long? And at what point in our classes where we are interacting with them, are they just a body in a seat that we're lecturing at or assigning things to or whatever? And there's, again, not a right answer to that. But I think that if we, again, returning to the idea of in our sphere, it's not, like I said, it's not possible for us to care about every single human being on the planet. There's not enough space in our minds. Our minds are not built that way. It's not possible.
Yeah.
However, if we focus on our sphere, which I keep returning to, is it possible for us to treat every person in that sphere as a human being? I think it is. Research suggests that we can have deep relationships with 150 people.
Yeah.
That's what research suggests. We can have meaningful relationships with 150 people. Beyond that, I think it's not possible. Mm-hmm. But inside that, do we, listener, me, you, do we have deep, meaningful relationships with the maximum number of people we can? I don't know. I think that's a question that I would put out to everyone. So you and I are introverted. You insist that I'm not. I insist that you're not.
Yeah, it's because
okay.
like, you'll wear an AC/DC wig and costume.
Nothing to do with being introverted. That's shy and not shy. I am not shy.
So that's all right.
Introversion is a completely different thing.
Semantics, you know what I mean?
No, introversion and extroversion have to do with the depth or breadth of your relationships and how you spend your social battery.
Yeah, and I want to talk to as few people as possible.
But you and I talk hours every week
on a podcast. And also a lot more
in person. We eat lunch together.
Yeah.
That's an introvert.
Yeah.
Has a very deep, rich relationship with a few people.
Mm-hmm.
Has nothing to do with whether or not you're shy.
Okay.
Anyhow, so back to the idea, and you don't have to respond to it, but if our psychology is built so that we can have deep, meaningful relationships with 150 people, how are we doing? Because if everyone on this planet has deep, meaningful relationships with 150 people, that means that everyone on this planet has 150 people that they're connected to, which means that no one is othered.
I mean, we are all 6 degrees away from Kevin Bacon at all points.
That's true.
But it makes me think about the waiter thing, though. And, like, the people he calls, they're just doing their job type of thing. But it's like, you're not going to have one of those relationships be the waiter or the person you call to figure out where your order of tile is. May or may not have been.
So I have 2 examples in my life of people that make me question whether or not that's possible. So when we lived in Louisville, our best friends, one of our best friends' name was John. And I went a lot of places with John. And I watched him interact with a lot of people. I never once saw him interact with someone in a way that made them feel less than human.
See, and that's okay. That's actually what in theory, what I want to.
Sure.
I mean, I would like to say that about myself. But
yeah, I cannot say that about myself.
It's kind of exhausting.
Yes.
Here's a good quote that maybe you know the author. The happiest people I know are those who lose themselves in the service of others.
So, like, for example, me, earlier in life, I was kind of a miserable guy because I was concerned with myself, what I'm doing, how I'm going to be successful, whatever. And I realized that what you just quoted at some point. And so now at my job is the easiest example of that. I'm not in focused. I'm out focused. And so my interactions with everyone that I come in contact with on a daily basis is that. How can I help you? How can I serve you? What do you need from me that I can give you?
As teachers, though, it's a kind of a unique situation where it's like, here's 100 people to focus on. Like, yeah, these 100 people, my students, other people's students, I don't really have to care about because I don't see them or talk to them.
Right. I mean, you can say, hey, like, I see you're sitting there in the corner. Are you okay? But I mean, that doesn't cost emotionally a lot.
Yeah.
But we do have a unique situation as teachers. Like this year, I have 133, something like that, students.
Wow. Yeah.
That 150, psychology suggests, is the most number of people that we can have, deepish relationships with.
Oh, wait. I just realized you could just be like, if other people outside in the store or whatever at church, like, can't get to know you guys. I'm already 130 people.
You could. That's not the point.
I got to cut it off.
But, I mean, psychologically, there is that limit. It's there.
Makes sense.
It's not like I'm choosing to cut you. Oh, let's see. I've got 100 for. Yep, I can take you in. I feel like most people that I know are nowhere near 150. They're very. The number is very much smaller than 150. I think that what happens to Ryan Reynolds' character in this movie does not ever have to happen. And the way that it doesn't happen is we start moving towards 150. Most people, go to work. Maybe they have a couple of people they hang with at work. Go home. They have their family, and that's the extent of the deep personal relationships that we have with anyone. And so if that's the extent, then there are a lot of people. If everyone on the planet's like that, there are a lot of people outside. There are a lot of other individuals that are just numbers that don't matter to anyone or enough people. And so we live in a world that's a horrific world. So in the context of this film, which you said isn't a horror film, I think it's a horrific film. And we're going to talk about that later on, the difference I see between horror and horrific films. So this doesn't have to happen, but I think metaphorically, this happens all the time to people that you know, listener, and you know, Ryan, and I know. And it doesn't have to. We have the capacity, the social capacity, science says, psychology says, to include and bring in way more people than we do.
I wonder, though.
That doesn't mean you have to have barbecues with them. It just means, how many people do you know their names? How many people do you know anything other than their names about them? Just go there.
Oh, is that how you get to know people?
Know their names? That's a start.
Maybe I'm doing it wrong.
That's why every year I spend hours and hours before school starts memorizing the names of my kids. Yeah. So that, like, on these little pictures of them from last year, just so when they come into my room, I can say, hey, I know your name. You don't know me, and I don't know you, but I know your name. Yeah. And that's the start of expanding this out.
Yeah. Well, this is what you made me think of. We've mentioned things similar, but it's natural, or I think it's natural, to only see ourselves as the Ryan Reynolds in the box. It's like, well, why aren't people realizing I need help or I'm upset?
That's a good point.
And that's like the natural thing. And I think it's also fair to say that people in this generation are even more inner focused. Yep. And we're not thinking of others. Yeah. And I think we just have a tendency to think we're the Ryan Reynolds in the box.
And we are.
And we are. Like, it's not like we all go through hardships. We all go through challenges, and physically, mentally, emotionally. And we feel like Ryan Reynolds. Yeah. But what you're saying is helping others will help you.
For example, I'll bring in this personal experience. Probably 4 or 5 years ago, my oldest child brought home this dog to our house. I expressly and in no uncertain terms told all of my family we are not having a dog. They brought it in anyway. Yeah. And I was pissed. I was full pissed. And I just kind of stomped around my house for a couple of days while my kids nursed this suffering animal back to health. Yeah. And then eventually I'm like, you know what? Fine. Whatever. And so the Christmas present I gave my kids is we don't have to get rid of this dog. That is your Christmas present. I better not ever have to pick up poop. I don't feed it. I don't water it. I don't bathe it. Nothing. It's your dog. Whatever. Can live in my house. The end. Over the course of the 4 years, though, she became my dog, and I gave my whole heart to that dog.
It was a good dog.
It was the perfect animal. Yesterday, she got hit and killed by a car, and I was decimated, completely destroyed. I just cried for probably a solid hour while they were, prepping her to come in to see us and say goodbye. And it was brutal, absolutely brutal. So today I come, did you know that I had a tragedy? No. Until I told you at lunch. Okay, so I came, and what made that tragedy supportable for me is I came and I just started serving people, serving my students, serving the new teachers, looking for other people that needed me and needed what I could give them. And like it's healing. Like it's healed me of the tragedy. So I could have rolled in today and just sat at my desk and said, y'all, work on whatever. Here's the book. Read the book.
Yeah.
I have experienced like a heart-rending loss for me.
Yeah.
I can't deal with you guys today. Do your thing. That would have been like what would have happened is I would have then started in focusing, and it potentially would not stop. And so from my own personal experience, I can tell you that serving people, that expanding the number of people that their names and things about them, and have more than just how was your, what do we always say? Like, how's it going? Fine. Right. More than that.
Yeah.
I think if we expand that, there's benefits to us personally. It helps us. It changes us.
Yeah.
But also, again, to return to the idea of othering, the number of people that are othered on the planet goes down.
Yeah.
And it keeps going down until there's no one left that is just a number, just a thing, just a death over there, just a whatever. And I feel like I have these grandiose visions of fixing the planet, whatever, but I feel like this is a true key.
Yeah.
It will heal you, and it will heal all of the people that you accept in your increasingly expanding circle. So that's my preach for the day. There you go.
If we had to rebrand our entire podcast, it could be like,
change the world by working in your sphere.
Yeah. And I never feel bad about going back to that well of just like, look around you. Like, who in your life can you help right now? Yeah. Or help change or lift, whatever.
And it sounds cliche or corny. If your life sucks, serve somebody.
Yeah.
And I'm not, I personally can attest that it is 100% true. That it will heal you.
Okay, so I don't think you've seen this because it's on the internet. But during the very recent American Open tennis, there was footage that went viral of one of the players was signing things, and he took his hat off, signed it. It was going to give it to a kid, and an adult man snatched it and put it in his bag, type of thing.
Oh, wow.
The internet was not happy about this. And the internet tracked who this guy was.
Oh, wow.
He's from Poland. He's a CEO of a company, and angry. This guy recently let out a statement that said, "What? It's first come, first serve in this world. You get to a place of success by taking what's there and acting fast." That's who this guy is.
Sure.
This movie buried, to tackle on bureaucracy, but just corporations.
Sure.
In general, I think it's pretty much saying, corporations don't care about people. It's the same thing. We could snap out, bureaucracy, corporations, even, I guess, the American military complex.
Right.
They all are interchangeable,
right.
But it's do we $5 million for a truck driver? Not gonna happen.
Yes. That's one of the just horrific lines that Ryan Reynolds says. Nobody's gonna pay $5 million for me. That to me is that's horrific.
Yeah.
Why do we have to live in a world where, one, that's the cost of a human being, but two, any human being feels like that?
Yeah.
That's nuts.
But that's just the CEO, that's just the mindset.
Right.
It's a numbers game.
So I think that the disease underlying all of what you just said is bureaucracy. So bureaucracy is the proliferation of rules.
Yeah.
Basically. And so
But the problem is we need rules.
We do. We absolutely do.
Uh-huh.
But when the rules need rules, which then need rules, at some point...
the red tape.
Yes. At some point, what started out, and I had this conversation / argument with my oldest child 2 days ago. What starts out as a really important law, because of bureaucracy and the proliferation of all these rules and rules and rules, it neuters the laws that are really important.
Gets in its own way.
And it buries it. And so what happens, actually, this is a conspiracy theorist statement.
Go for it.
What happens is the people who have the power see that this law is going to take their power, and so they encourage this cocoon of other laws to be formed around it so that it increasingly sucks out and saps the power of the law so that it ultimately does nothing at all.
Yeah.
There. That's a conspiracy I believe in. And so the problem with our society is we are not cutting the cocoon off, or I don't know. It's a flawed.
I lost track.
It's a flawed metaphor. It is, but we're allowing this to happen.
It's because that's why the ending works, because he dies.
Yeah.
Obviously, nothing could have happened. The worst twist of the knife is they are digging up someone. And it's the guy he said that he helped save.
Lied.
He lied.
Yep.
And Ryan Reynolds dies. That's the last thing he learns is he didn't even save the last guy.
He hasn't saved anyone.
And he's clearly dying because all the sand and stuff. But that's the last thing that's going to happen to him.
Yep.
He knows that guy lied about it.
Yep.
It's easy just to say that's, war, because it is.
Yeah.
But it's also no one's ever going to be able to help the truck driver in a war,
Yeah. Or care to.
Or care about the individual.
Yeah. Yeah, they're just a truck driver.
In a way, yeah. This the apathetic nature of government, I guess.
Well, it's just the natural outgrowth of bureaucracy. Mm-hmm. Bureaucracy. So bureaucracy is the opposite of what. So, to I guess finish the juxtaposition, we have bureaucracy, which puts increasing layers of distance between us and everyone else. Mm-hmm. And then we have the opposite, what we've been talking about, which is we voluntarily learn someone else's name and something about them, and more than just us become important to us.
Yeah.
So that's what we're up against. Okay, I think I beat that to death at this point. So
you know what? I think we know that you don't like bureaucracy.
But it's not just I don't like rules. It's I see what it does to us.
It's like a web.
Yeah, it's exactly like a web.
What's funny is we both...
That's better than a cocoon.
Yeah,
that's what I should have said.
Yeah, cut off the cocoon. What does that mean?
I don't know.
What's funny is we both in our classes touch on dystopia. I have a dystopian unit. Yeah. And bureaucracy is a very dystopic idea.
Yeah, it shows up in every one of them.
But mostly, my students don't even know what that word is. What is this word you're saying? How do you say this word?
Yeah.
And there are a lot of vowels. It is a hard word to spell. Maybe that's the
it's
secret.
Kind of, bureau's a French word, so.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The first step to define bureaucracy is knowing how to spell it.
I still can't, actually.
Yeah, I can't.
Every time I go to type it, I have to be like, U-E. Yeah. It doesn't come out of my fingers like everything else, so.
Yeah. So, okay. I have a thing and a couple questions for you. Well,
cool.
First off...
I have a thing and a couple questions for you.
So. I can't wait. Even though there were smartphones in 2010, there really is an era of pre- and post-smartphone.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
Oh, an era.
An era.
I thought you said error.
There was an era. An era of...
Yeah, absolutely.
2008 is when the first iPhone came out.
Yep.
And shortly after that, because I remember an uncle had a BlackBerry. Mm-hmm. It's my phone can do everything that iPhone does. And I remember at the time being yeah, but that's cooler, though. And now we all have iPhones.
Not all of us.
We all have smartphones, is what I meant to say. But I just think it's kind of interesting. Movies made around that time and before not smartphones. It just makes a huge difference, you know?
It does.
Also, remember Star 69? Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah.
That gets a reference here.
Yep.
It's like, whoa, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
I gotta make a prank phone call. Let me.
Yep.
Star 69.
I got Star 69 several times in my childhood.
Yeah, and it was just. Now, I don't even know. Do kids make prank phone calls?
I doubt it.
I doubt it too, because we all have caller ID. And
Yep.
anyway, so here's my attempt at being clever, and I had to look up the name of this. It is semiotics, which has come up before. It's the study of symbols.
Yep.
So I
Specifically as they are associated with words. Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
But in film, it's like symbolism and signs and how it creates meaning within a film. And so I did this backwards. I came up with the idea, like, I don't know, how do I connect this to film? Oh, semiotics, which I had to Google. Like, what does it mean for symbols? This coffin is a symbol of society.
Okay.
We are all in our coffins, and we all have access to communicate with other people. But at the end of the day, we're all isolated. I mean, we've talked around this idea and kind of broken this idea already, but like, in a way, that's true. Like,
it's true only, I think, because we allow it to be true.
Yeah, there is an excellent movie that I think more people should watch called 8th Grade. And I've talked to you about it because, in a way, it's kind of a horror film. Not that it's scary, but it's like this
horrific.
This awkward, shy girl just trying to do things in 8th grade outside her comfort zone. And it's like, oh, why is this like, I'm like on the edge of my seat because she might embarrass herself type of thing. Right. What was I going? Oh, yeah, but that's a movie that I think about a lot because, like, she just goes home and goes on her phone and sees social media and, like, and it's what we all do. Well, okay, let me back up. It's what a lot of people do. Because even if you have a loving family or loving parents or friends, you still might just look at the screen on your phone and feel isolated. So as a society, we've built a coffin around ourselves, given us access to branch outside of that, but
coffin is the smartphone.
Yeah.
Just to plug a book I'm reading. I realize this is a movie podcast. But there's
no books allowed.
Absolutely. I think I use the word terrifying too much, but anyhow, clean that
horrifying?
Clean that up.
Is it scary?
Clean it up. It's called The Anxious Generation. Yeah. And what you said earlier, that there's a pre and a post smartphone era, that goes massively deeper than where we took it. Like, it's all the way deep. All the way down. It's rewired our brains. And so not only functionally, if this book is correct, Homo sapiens are over. And we have created, those of us who, specifically are social media addicts, we are creating a new species that cannot interact with the world the same way as the pre-smartphone people could. Yeah. And it's scary. That's my interpretation of his argument, but it's really, really scary. And so, the isolation that you're talking about is a direct result of specifically social media in his book. And so I don't know how much longer people are going to continue having Instagram on their phones, but I feel like if it goes a lot further, we are present at the end of humanity. I realize I'm old and I don't get it and whatever, but like, I feel like we are at the dawn of the end of humanity.
Yeah.
I don't feel like that's an exaggeration.
No, there was an episode of Black Mirror. It happens to be the very first episode I ever saw, so that's why I maybe think it's the best one, or one of. There's some great.
There are some magnificent.
But with Bryce Dallas Howard, where she's trying to buy a house or whatever, and they look at her social media circle, like how much influence you have and how much people like you. And I think that's kind of what might happen.
Yeah.
They already hire actors and actresses based on Instagram followers.
Yep.
That's a real thing that happens in our movies already.
And it's all, I don't know, I feel like I'm like diatribing here, but it's...
What's that word mean, Deeds?
Like...
You're going to diatribing or diatribe? What was the word you said?
Soapboxing. I'm grinding my head. Diatribe?
Yeah, that word.
What do you mean?
I don't know that word.
Oh, well, you can cut it out.
No, I want you to tell me the
word. When you unleash a diatribe, it's a monologue of these are the things that I hate, and I think this, and of my thinking and my feeling and my reasoning, and you don't get to talk.
Diatribe?
It's just me at you. Something that I feel passionate about, I'm angry about.
Yeah, like Robert Downey Jr.
You know, this right now at this moment, I don't really care about Robert Downey Jr.
I brought it back, baby.
Yeah, baby.
All
anyhow,
right.
So.
Sorry, I make myself laugh sometimes.
I do too.
Okay, so here's my question.
Okay.
And it's... To you, it's going to be the most basic question ever. Because do we have control over our fate, Deets?
That's not a basic question.
Well, for you it is.
No.
Because Ryan Reynolds in this movie, everything is out of his control. Do we have anything?
So my answer would be we can by the choices that we make, we can create a situation where, yes, nothing is in our control. So Ryan Reynolds... in this movie, says to his wife, I should have listened to you. I should not have come. And so by him not listening, and he couldn't have known, but that was the choice that set the series of events in place that caused him to not have a choice. There are other moments. So another thing that I think, just in terms of storytelling, that this film is so amazing at is we know a ton about who he was outside of that box. He doesn't ever say it. The film isn't like, Paul was a married man. He has a child and he blah, 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 whatever. It's all inferred. It's masterfully done.
Yeah.
But whatever his relationship is with whoever woman in Iraq, that was another moment that had he chosen differently, his family, even if he died, his family would have been provided for by the company that he worked for. So he made that choice that cut off that avenue.
Good.
So I do believe that we can get to a point where we no longer have choices. And so, to get on another soapbox, we should...
You mean diatribe?
No, this is just a soapbox. Because I'm not going to spew at you. I'm just going to make a statement.
Spew away.
Okay. No, I'm just going to make a statement, Ryan. I'll make a statement. So, my own personal philosophy of answer to the question of how we should live our lives is we should always make the choices that will increase our future ability to choose. And if we live in that way, I think we are going to live incredibly successful, happy lives. And so... Ryan Reynolds did not live in that way, and he ended up in a box.
Except for
in the desert.
He meant to. It was like, I'll go do this so I can get money to maybe have more choices. You know?
Sure, but I think we lionize money.
Yeah, but
like there was a conversation with some of our colleagues talking to students about, teachers only make blah blah blah. Great, is blah 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 enough to live your life, to have a house, a car, whatever it is, food? Yeah, I think it is. And so what else is there that we can be doing with the extra time? Because one of the biggest perks of being a teacher, outside of being able to interact with students and shapes, and help them and give them tools and whatever, is the fact that we have a lot of time off.
Yeah.
A lot of time off. And so if we get hyper focused on, I gotta have more money than the next person next door, or whatever, bigger, whatever, better, whatever, I have to be a Disney adult, I have to blah blah blah, whatever it is, if that's the focus of our lives, then yes, I feel like we are narrowing ourselves to a point where we will no longer have choices. So your guy in Poland, I feel like is significantly less free in the choices that he has available to him than I am.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about him other than he took the thing from the kid. And
that's
he said,
all I know.
And he said what you said he said. I think that guy is in a sad spot, and he has very limited amount of choices of what he can do.
Yeah. He also said, I will use all these tweets or whatever to sue. You know, like...
That's the limit of his world.
Yeah.
So, yes, I believe we can get to a point where we no longer have any choices. However, I do not think it's inevitable. I think it is 100% evitable, actually.
I like that, Dr. Dietz.
What do you think?
I mean, I don't know. I want to agree with you. In reality, yeah, I want to agree with the money thing, but I don't know if I can. It's because of, well, we also just bought a house, which, I mean, we were
and
lucky.
It's an awesome
house.
It's so
and like,
awesome.
We are lucky that we have it, but it's going to be more money every month. And
Sure.
I don't know. It's just...
So we could take that. So did that choice increase or decrease your future choices? And you don't have to say it, but that's...
It depends on choices, Dietz.
So if it depends on the choices you make after it, then make the choices after that are going to increase your ability to choose in the future. It's just food for thought.
Food for thought.
That's my personal answer.
Mm.
Increasing your ability to choose in the future.
I like that. Well, my other question, I already know what you're going to say, but like...
I'm so predictable.
Do we, blah, 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 blah. Oh, can you trust any media? Because, like, for example, I think he didn't have an affair. I'm getting...
I don't think that he did, but
I don't
it doesn't
think he
answer
did.
that.
It doesn't answer, but the media is going to tell everyone he did, you know? Mm-hmm. Not only did he get fired, but he had an affair. And so it's like, oh, wow, well, screw that guy. Maybe he does deserve to die, you know? But the media is not... The people who watch the media are not going to know any better.
Right.
So, like, and it's pretty apparent what the guy was doing, who he's talking to on the phone.
Yeah.
He needs specific answers. Because Ryan Reynolds made a video on YouTube that went viral. Like, I am here in a box. No, and I forget what he says. But, like...
Basically anti-war. Like, I'm here because of the war, and people are...
The little we know is, like, yeah, that went viral on YouTube. But then the media is going to be like, oh, guess what? This guy who's in the box, he had an affair, yada, yada, yada. But that's purposefully manipulating the truth.
Yes.
So, not that we even can unpack that all, but, like, can you trust any media?
What do you mean by trust?
In the TV show Succession, which is a fictional version of the Murdoch family who owns Fox.
Okay.
And I think a lot of it is probably closer to truth than we'd like. Many times, stories get said to either protect certain people or stories. There's one part where Brian Cox's character says something, and a character's like, have him say something different. And the guy's like, what do you mean? Just make it happen. And they do. They make him say something different in the recorded video, you know? Mm-hmm. Like, to protect ego, to protect investments, to protect yada, yada, yada. You know? Yeah. Can you even trust any of it? I don't know what I'm saying anymore.
I feel like you answered your question.
I did, I guess. You can't trust it all. Go live in a cabin in the middle of the woods.
No. So why I asked what do you mean by trust is I don't think there's any source of information that we can just uncritically trust outside of our own heads. And inside of our own heads, we also can't trust because what's going on in our heads, some of it has been programmed by our trauma, by,
misremembering things
sometimes. Social media.
Yeah.
And so I realize that thinking critically 100% of the time, all the time, is not possible. It is not possible for us to unpack and analyze every single thing that comes our way. So my answer for that is twofold. So first of all, we need to understand who the speaker is and what they want, what they care about, what is their agenda. And then two, when we interact with what they have to say, We need to understand ourselves to the best of our ability so that we can say, does that fit with what I think and what I feel and who I am? Okay, so there's that.
Yeah.
What we are doing to ourselves as a species with our Instagram feeds is we are making that process I just described literally impossible to do. Because the process I just described when there was just NBC, CBS, and ABC is possible.
Yeah.
There's 3 companies growing up. Those were the 3 companies that, quote, made the news.
Yeah.
And you can find out what the agenda is for each of those companies. Now, it's never ending. Literally, you could scroll forever on Instagram, and every single one has a different opinion, a different idea, a different agenda, a different and
kids aren't watching news.
Right. That's where news comes from, is these influencers that, or like I could post a thing and say, this is what happened and blah blah blah. I could just straight make it up. Nobody's going to know. And, if it's extreme enough, I'm going to go viral. And guess what's going to happen? That's going to become reality, even though it never even existed.
Right.
So, my answer to basically everything that is wrong with the world is we need to uninstall our social media. It's not just because it wastes our time. It's not because it's changing us. It's not because of any of that. We are becoming increasingly unable to be human beings by the definition that existed before smartphones because of stuff like this. Who can you trust? We cannot answer that question anymore because of the sheer volume of people giving us their opinions and ideas. We can trust none of it. This whole episode is just a tirade.
No, it's a
diatribe.
A diatribe.
This whole thing.
Diatribe.
Junk it in the garbage and start over.
Is that the word? Diatribe?
Yeah.
Diatribe.
With a B.
Diatribe.
Anyhow.
I should, because I've thought about this, because I do waste a lot of time. I should just get a flip phone.
Yeah.
But then it's always like, but it's also my phone's also a camera. My phone's also Disney Plus. It's also a way to
Disney Plus can be on the wall.
It's also a way to write notes and tools. You can
do that with a flip phone. I'm just saying.
I know.
I'm sure I sound like the old person. The what are they called? The doomsayers or whatever. But I think any I don't want to say any thinking person has already drawn these conclusions, but I think any thinking person has already drawn these conclusions.
Yeah.
I think we know, and we're just allowing the feedback loop.
Yeah.
And the reinforcement loop that social media companies are very aware of and are very adept at manipulating to rewrite what it means to be human.
Yeah. Yeah.
Please, if you are listening to this podcast, uninstall Instagram and Snapchat and TikTok and Twitter. Please save the species. The end.
The end.
Actually, I'm going to ask this question because I think it's an important question. So, Ryan Reynolds.
Go on.
Huh?
Go on.
Oh, thank you. At various points in this movie, realizes that things that he hasn't done or neglected were way more important than all of the things that he did do. And that's actually a really common trope in a lot of movies when people are approaching death. Is, I should have fill in the blank instead of fill in the blanking, right?
Yeah.
So I should have spent more time doing whatever things with my family, but I spent it gaining money or whatever.
Yeah.
Anyhow, why can't we figure that out before we're on our deathbeds? That's my question. Generally speaking,
because we all, even if what you said about money is true, you still need jobs where you need to support. It's like, what is it, Maslow's hierarchy of needs? We do need to have a foundation of we gotta earn money so we can eat and have a house and yada yada yada. So like a lot of it, time is just dedicated to specific things because they have to be.
Sure.
You get just in the flow of stuff.
Sure.
We take things for granted.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe those are my two answers.
Yeah, no, those are good answers.
There was a short story I read once where a guy got locked in a bank vault on accident over Christmas, and it was going to open the next week. Like it was like Christmas was Friday or something. Oh, I don't know. How did he survive? It was just like he was in the vault for 2 days, and in the story, it's like, oh, so and so will call, so and so will realize I'm not there, and he lived alone. No one noticed, blah, blah, blah. The point of the story was he changed after that so people would notice if anything like that ever happened again, type of thing. And that's what you're getting at, like, what do we need to change? So if you were buried in a box, who's gonna come find you? Who's gonna even notice you're buried in a box? You know?
Yeah. Yep. I agree. So one of my favorite musical artists, so now I'm bringing in another thing. So we did a book.
Leonard Skinner?
His name is Steven Wilson.
Okay.
One of my favorite albums of his is called Hand Cannot Erase.
Okay.
There was a woman in England who had friends, had family. She died, and no one realized it for 2 years.
Oh.
And then they found her body and whatever. So he wrote this album kind of envisioning how did that happen? And so, if you want to explore what you just said, that's a musical album recommendation that I have for you.
Books and albums.
Yeah, I'm just, breaking out all the stops. You don't break out stops. Pulling out. You're pulling out all the stops.
And you're cutting out your cocoons.
Cutting the cocoons. You know what? I had a rough day yesterday.
Cut your cocoons is what we really want you to take away from this whole episode.
I'm really tired, so I probably said a lot of idiocy.
You've just been diatribing
diatribing and cocooning and whatevering. Okay, last thing I want, and so this is significantly less heavy than this. I feel like we need a new genre of film. The horrific genre, because movies like this are not technically, I would not consider this a horror movie, because too many of the genre elements are missing. But this is a horrific movie, for all the reasons that we've just talked about. I watched another movie over the weekend that I would say fits in this category as well, called The Coffee Table. The horrific. It is, I think it's in Spanish, subtitled. I don't know what country it's from. And I don't want to ruin the movie.
Because Coffee Table sounds like a pleasant rom-com.
It is not.
I left my book on a coffee table. Now
it is probably the most... It's in the top 5 most horrific movies I've ever seen. Everything is absolutely horrific. I wouldn't call it a horror movie, but just how this. I feel this movie reaches into the viewers and forces us to confront how human are you, and how do we be human. So I feel, so other examples I can think of off the top of my head are the movie Prisoners. Is a horrific movie.
Yeah.
I don't think I would call it a horror movie, but I think it's horrific. Dragged Across Concrete is another movie that isn't a horror movie. It's not an action movie. It's not a cop movie. I think it needs its own genre. It's a horrific movie.
I hear so one we've talked about recently that you don't like, that I just watched for the first time, Rosemary's Baby.
Is
not scary.
Not at all scary.
It's horrific. Yeah,
it's horrific.
She's just alone in this apartment.
So I'm lobbying for a new genre.
Let's do it.
We can put Rosemary's Baby in there.
Somehow we can make money off of this.
Anyhow, so all of the movies I just mentioned are horrific. They will disturb you, but I think
you won't be scared.
You won't be scared. It will, but I feel like that genre that I just created is a really vital genre for us to reawaken our humanity. Because those 4 movies I put in and the one that you put in all have in common we are losing our humanity. Here is a thing that can wake us up, an event that is occurring, or a way people are interacting with each other that's horrific. How did this happen? How do we get to the point where these things are happening? We got to wake up. The horror isn't, monsters. It isn't supernatural. It isn't, blood fountains and all of that crap. The horror is this, or like Silence of the Lambs is another one that I think would fit there.
Psychological horror, though.
Right. There are some psychological horror elements, but what makes that movie so powerful isn't the psychological horror.
Yeah.
It's the how on earth did this happen? How did this guy get to this point in a world that should have taken care of him and nurtured him and whatever? Anyhow.
Incendies would be another good one, too.
Which one?
Incendies.
I don't think I know that one.
It's another foreign film. It's also deeply upsetting, but not scary, but...
Yeah.
Kind of what you're talking about.
And so I feel like that genre could like help us with some of the stuff that we've thought and talked about in this podcast. Wake us up, help us to see the true horror in the world, and to respond to it and fix it. Because guess what? Pennywise is never going to show up at your door, but that's a horror movie, and it's a pretty good one. The book's better. That's all I have.
This diatribing's got to stop.
So I apologize if you made it all the way to the end and you're like, when is he going to shut up? This is the moment. Thank you for listening. I appreciate you allowing me to diatribe. So, love you.
Buried. Ryan Reynolds, 2010. I agree. This is one of his best performances. The idea behind it was we wanted to go from Pirates of the Caribbean Endgame, where there is... pirate ships, no, not Endgame. Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End, pirate ships in a maelstrom, Davy Jones, Calypso, all these big things, to a little tiny itty bitty movie in a box, and that was fun.
I don't know how fun it was, but I feel catharsis.
Yeah, you gotta talk about why you hate bureaucracy and social media. Your favorite
two.
Anyway, so
explanations for the coming apocalypse.
Next week is going to be interesting because we're going back to the Caribbean, Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides. This movie it's a different director.
Okay.
And not to tell you anything more, but yeah, also some of our favorite characters aren't in it. So
really?
That's where it's going to shake things up type of thing.
Interesting.
And we'll see what we think about it when we watch it.
I already know what you think about it, but...
No, what are we talking about?
Kind of let it slip earlier. So
Anyway,
thanks for listening.
Anyway, we love you.
We do love you.
Thank you for listening.
Uninstall all of your social media.
Or don't. How else are you going to get the news? See
In
pictures of your
marks.
friends' kids. That's important.
Playing with their dogs and
no one. They're not gonna. What's gonna?
Your life will just be tragic.
Angry Birds Dream Blast isn't gonna play itself, Deets. I had a student ask me today, "What's the Battle Royale game?" Or what's the
Clash Royale?
A student asked me today if I played Clash Royale, and I'm like, "No."
Wow.
And he's like, "Oh, I can't do that on a smartphone. I don't have a flip phone, so."
And that's a bad thing, I guess, is what you're implying.
No, I'm just we love you.
We do love you.
Think critically.
Please.
Bye. You don't like Jack Black? Add that to the list.
He's just annoying. Okay, so he's an actor that either absolutely nails it,
okay,
or absolutely bombs, and there's no real middle ground for him.
We don't have time for this conversation because what are you talking about?
Like School of Rock?
Yeah.
Amazing.
Okay.
Gulliver's Travels?
Okay, that
garbage.
That whole movie is garbage.
Yeah.
He's not like bad in
what
it.
Else
the
is
movie
there?
is bad.
Day One?
Well,
Absolute
I think that's
trash.
similar.
I
I haven't even seen day one, but I know it's.
watched it and I wish I could unwatch it. It's that bad. Anyhow, we don't have to talk about Jack Black. He's funny when he's funny, and
We'll have to
he's just kind of there when he's not.
find
funny.
a movie with Jack Black in it.
No,
I guess
we don't. Anyhow,
movies here, but
probably.